but we have seen unofficial plans for development for that area, and the last plans we saw was essentially was going to shred northern 2 Key, and that's one of only 2 keys that have mangroves on Lighthouse Reef. I'm not sure if those plans have been updated or amended to kind of be more sensitive to the how fragile that ecosystem is. The plans called for several hundred boats out there, I think, and I could see obvious conflict being created because you have a large stakeholder group coming out of San Pedro that uses the blue hole, and they've been very good at being having a small footprint, ecological footprint, when they go into the blue hole and visit Half Moon Key. There are a lot of fishers who frequent that area, especially for the conch. And so I'm trying to wrap my head around how this development will fit into the existing uses. One of the things that's critical to any ecosystem is mangrove. I mean, if you could it's even in the best interest for landowners. Especially we found that parrotfish and other herbivorous fish depend on that mangrove as their nursery. And you only have 2 of those out at Lighthouse Reef. You lose one, you're going to have a heavy impact on the ecosystem out at Lighthouse Reef. And so trying to see how you could fit a mega development into a very small area, it's hard to conceive. And I think the last plans that we saw even had an airstrip out on the reef. That is just not something that the reef can sustain. You don't put an airstrip on your reef. I'm very concerned that this is moving ahead without having seen what would be a project that will be compatible with the area that we consider so pristine. It's a World Heritage Site, Half Moon Key and Blue Hole. I'm still hopeful that there are stakeholders out at Lighthouse Reef that once this information gets out will start speaking to their representatives because there are a lot of people that will be affected by this development if it proceeds. And even looking at the social side, because it's not just about protecting fish and mangrove. We've seen in other places, even in the Riviera Maya, where you have these big developments, and it's not the locals who get the jobs. There's a huge trend of influx of migrants coming to the coast to get jobs. And the people along the coast first have lost their land, and in essence, we will be losing access to northern 2 Key.